Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a tutorial on this look that I'm wearing right now. To get this look I'm going to be using the Morphe 3502 palette. So let's just hop right into that. So for this look today I'm going to be using the Morphe 3502 palette. It looks like this. So far I love everything about this palette except for this. I don't know why they can't just put the names on to the palette, but I still really love it, so it's fine. Okay, so I already have my eyebrows on, and to get started I'm going to put on foundation and then we'll move right on to the eyes. For primer today we're going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This is my favorite right now. I also use the Benefit Professional, but I think I like this one a little bit better. For foundation, we're going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and mine is in the shade Soft Ivory. Really love this applicator. It's like a little spatula. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I kind of just like dab it onto my face before I blend it out. And I'm going to take this beauty sponge, which I actually got from Forever 21, I believe. But it works pretty good, I like it. Foundation is more of a light to medium type of coverage, so I do like to build it up with a few different layers. Now that we're all blended out, we're just going to move right on to the eyes. Okay, so we are going to take the shade Risky, which is this one right here. We're going to take that on a big fluffy brush. This is actually a, I think, concealer brush from e.l.f., but I like using it for my eyes. These Morphe shadows are very pigmented, so I like to tap off the brush before going in, just to avoid a big mess. I'd rather build it up than put too much to begin with. I'm just basically putting this everywhere. I started by buffing it into my crease, but I am dragging it onto my lid as well. Taking a little bit of a less dense brush to try and smoke out the edges a little better. This is actually a brush from Amazon. It doesn't have a name, but it's part of a Harry Potter wand collection. Now that that's all nice and smoked out, we're going to take this flat shader brush, also part of that Harry Potter wand collection, and we are going to take the color Fire, which is right here, this real bright red one. This is actually the color that made me want to buy this palette. I love it. it on the lid, but avoiding the center. Now we're going to take this smaller crease brush. It is a blending brush from e.l.f. and we're just going to get right into the crease and blend in that darker color. And then we're going to repeat the same steps on the other eye. So now we are going to cut out the middle with some concealer and make this halo eye happen. So for this, I want to use a very small brush just so I don't, you know, mess up everything else that we already have down. It's always hard to find a brush for this because you need something small but also very dense. Okay, so I'm going to use this brush. It's like a really thin shader brush. Going to put a tiny bit. To do this, I'm using the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Concealer by IT Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Medium. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this onto my brush, just a little dot. I'm going to put it right in the middle, and then I'm going to look up. See how far I have to take this, and that, and then I'm just slowly gonna cut out all of the part that I want to go over with that gold shimmery shade. I'm always unsure if I should set this after or go right in with the shimmer shade, because I do feel like setting it keeps it from moving around a lot, but not setting it makes the shimmery shade really pop. So I'm always a little torn on that. Okay, so now that we cut that out, I am going to set it down. I'm going to dip into my IBY Beauty Highlight and Contour Palette. And I'm just going to take this first highlight, I'm sorry, this is an absolute mess. I'm just going to take this first highlight shade right here. And I'm going to take it on this wider shader brush. I feel like I've said shader brush in this video like 10,000 times. And I'm just going to pack that on so that the concealer doesn't move around too much. Don't know if I want to go with more of a dark, like browny gold, or more of like a yellowy gold. Let's see, I'm gonna swatch that actually. These are the two shades that I'm between. If you can even see that, I hope that you can. I think I'm gonna go with the lighter gold, the more of a yellow gold. Get this off my fingers now. Because I do think that I'm gonna end up going over it with a Artist Couture highlight pigment anyway. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take this lighter gold. And this is the shade Pure. It's the one right here, the second one in. I know I'm probably gonna end up doing this with my finger just because you get better payoff that way, but I'm gonna try it with this thick shader brush. These are mermaid brushes from Amazon, of course. I'm just gonna pack that on there and then put it everywhere that this concealer is laid down. trying not to swipe too much just because I don't want to get the most out of this color. But I am dragging it down a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to go back in with my finger anyway. And I feel like that'll help. Sorry guys, my camera actually died and it's probably gonna die again, so we're gonna try and finish this up quickly. So while it was charging a little bit, I just cleaned up underneath my brow bone and buffed that out and blended it a little bit with the shade, this one right here, and that is called Tan. So now to finish everything up, we're going to continue with the face and the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, and this was in the shade Medium. This is actually a little too dark for me, but it is all I have at the moment, so we're going to make it work. I'm just going to take that same palette as earlier from IBY Beauty, and I'm going to use highlight shade number 2. Now I'm going to take the contour shade number 1 and my brush go. Using this big fluffy brush, I'm going to, not really contour, but just bronze up in the shadowy areas of my face. Now I'm going to take this big fat pencil brush and I'm going to take the Artist Couture highlight shade pigment in the shade Illuminati, and using just a little bit of this, I'm going to put it on the high points of my cheekbones. This highlight is actually a little too golden for me, but it's not that bad. It's just a little darker than what I would normally like for a highlight. Using yet another shader brush. This one, I'm going to take a little bit of that same pigment and pack it onto my eyelids. So my camera died again, and I'm back. While it was charging, I just went over my other eye with that same Artist Couture pigment, and I really like how that looks. I think it made it much brighter than just the Morphe shade alone, so I really like that. And now I'm going to take this very tiny brush and I'm going to use the dark shade that we use called Chestnut in the Morphe palette right here, and I'm going to use just a tiny bit on the tip to connect, or not really connect, but kind of intensify the darkness in the crease right before the golden shade, and then, you know, right before on the other side as well. It just gives your eye a little bit more depth for this look. Now we are just going to highlight the brow bone. However, there is no shade in here to really highlight with. I'm just going to take a light powdery color. I'm going to use highlight number 1 from that same Coutour palette. I'm just going to use a slanted brush to do this. I'm going to highlight right underneath my brow. This will just clean up any of the darker shades that might have made their way up there. And now for the lower lash line. I'm going to take this slanted brush and I'm just going to go under my lash line with the bright red shade in the Morphe palette and go super close to my lashes, almost like in between them. And I'm going to run that across my whole lid, my whole lower lash line. And then I'm going to use this small fluffy pencil brush. And I'm going to take that very first transition shade called Risky that we used. And I'm just really going to smoke out my lower lash line. Doing this much more messy than that first red color. Now I'm just going to apply some mascara. This is the Ulta Beauty Plush Drama Volumizing Mascara. And I love this one. A look like this would be perfect to have a pair of falsies on, since it's so dramatic and bold. Now to finish up the look, I'm just going to use some setting spray. This is the Ulta Beauty Matte Makeup Setting Spray. We're going to use a little bit of NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Bedtime Flirt. These liquid lipsticks do dry down very matte, so I am going to go over it with a lip gloss. This is Ulta Beauty's Juice Infused Lip Oil in the scent Coconut. It just goes on clear, but it is very glossy. Okay guys, that completes this look. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye! Don't forget to subscribe!